Hi guys, welcome back. Today I would like to talk to you about two China projects, and of course I got my China t-shirt equipped while doing so. The first product I would like to talk about is this micro SD card, and the second product I would like to talk about is this wireless phone charger. But first, the wireless SD card. So I found this on Wish, and it was $1 or maybe $2, something like that, for 64 gigabyte SD card. And when you look at it, it looks like an SD card. It feels like an SD card. It even reads SD card, and it says 64 megabytes and a class 10. This is not a class 10. In order to test it, I used the verification program on the computer. I will put a link in the description to the software, where it will actually try to write the card full. When the card is full, it's going to verify each byte, and apparently this checked out as I think it was 62 gigabytes. Hey, 62 or 64, that's fine with me. But if you think about it, 62, that's really odd number when thinking about binary numbers. So yeah, okay, I would give it a try. So I took the existing card out of my phone, made a backup, copied the backup over on this card. The backup was around 6 or 7 gigabytes. Then I put this in my phone, and then I went out doing some photography with the phone. And eventually images in the gallery started going gray and blurry, and you got these weird lines as if the the processor could not write to the gallery. And when you clicked the image, it was still gray or weird shaped. And what's happening is really when it reached about 8 gigabytes, it's starting rewriting on itself, so it was in fact deleting its own data, which makes this card a 8 gigabyte data SD card. Sorry. So it's bullshit. It's terrible. It's just bad practice. Sure, $2 for a 8 gigabyte SD card would have been great 5 years ago, but today that's just bad. So that's a bad China product. They are actually lying directly because it says 64 gigabyte, and that's just something I really can't approve of. If they wrote 8 gigabytes, sure, fine, no problem. But that's a lie. So the other thing I would like to talk about is this phone charger. I won't really call it a copy of a phone charger, but a replica. Samsung has made these for the S7 or 7 Note series. The idea is you place this in your workstation on the table, and when you sit down to start work or something, you just place your phone on top and the phone will start charging. This works on modern phones. I also tested it on an iPhone. The only problem with an iPhone is when you use the USB cable that comes with it and plug it into a computer, because the computer has plenty of USB ports, right? It won't be able to charge the iPhone. However, it will be able to charge a Samsung phone. To be able to charge the iPhone, we found a plug for the wall to USB, so we could put in the 2 amps required for the iPhone, but not through the computer. And the great thing about this is it's working as described it. So I'm going to plug it in. There we go. And it has a, let's see, red diode in the middle. It's very small. It's really very clear on the camera, but in real life it's only very visible when you look directly into it. So It's like solar roadways. You can't see it unless you look directly down onto it. But it's there. So I'm going to take my phone, and notice I have this rubber cover on top. So that is actually preventing a good charge. But got my charge plate, my phone. There we go, it's charging. And another way you can see it charging is the red LED turns blue on the device itself. So when I remove the phone, it just turns off. When I put the phone on, it charges. Pretty cool. And you can see it even says in the display, wireless charging. That's extremely cool. And this works. A friend of mine told me, well, since this is micro USB, why don't you just plug that into your phone? Well, the problem is I have already had a couple of phones break inside the USB connection in here because all of the plugging in and out. So wireless, that's incredible. The thing about timing the wireless is charging time from 0 to 100% usually on cable. It takes an hour. With this thing it takes 3 hours. But if you use it like it's intended, you place it on the table where you work and you just have your phone on, it will charge continuously, so no problem. And when it rings, you can just pick it up. You don't have to mess with the wires. Now, it's here in Europe we need to have things called CE approved, the C and the E. It's something called Central Committee for European Union. It's French, but there are some standards you have to live up to. This seems like it's in itself it could be approved, no problem, and it's not really an approving. You just mark it and say, well, we live up to these terms, and I actually think they do. Another funny thing about this, it actually came in a box. That's very rare. How many times have we got things from China that's not in a box? But one of the agreements you have to follow, or rules in order to mark your products with a CE mark, is you have to put a manual inside. The manual has to be in one of the 3 major languages. So that's English, German, or French. And well, let's see. There actually is a manual in Chinese. But if you flip it over, there's a English manual. So the next rule in order to market your products in Europe is to have a company or person inside Europe or the EU to help you with this. You can't sit in China and sell your products in Europe without a responsible person in Europe. So you need a person. So besides that rule, that single rule, I actually think these guys have a valid product here that could be sold in Europe, maybe even America. It has a FCC standard as well. I think this is for once, a very rare occasion, a legit product. I don't know if they have a supplier in Europe, and that's one of the things. I need to be able to take the manual. So if I have a problem, I need to be able to find someone to contact. There's nobody here. And that company or person has to be inside Europe. So that's a bit of a shame, because I really think these could be marketed in Europe. Unless, of course, there's some sort of design embargo, because the design is completely like somebody else's. But that's relatively easy to fix, because you could just change the design, make a different product. You don't have to look like everything else. Make your own product, and then you have a good product. So one very good product today and one pretty shitty product. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, guys, and please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. Bye.